fantastic to see the trust level that he has for his staff.
For third-year Wake Forest head coach Megan Jebbia, she is still working to get this program to where she wants it to be. She came in with a pedigree, 12 years at American. She built a program there, trying to do the same thing here for the Demon Deacons.
Well, it takes time, right, to get your team to execute your philosophy. And she is doing her best to infuse the discipline that's necessary to keep that consistent.
Wake Forest coming into today's contest 7-6 overall. They've dropped their first 2 games in ACC play. Louisville 9-5, 2-1 in the conference, coming off of their win over Miami. Here we go. The Cards and the Demon Deacons going head-to-head.
You see Wake Forest starts out man-to-man defense. They're trying to jump and cover on those dribble handoffs, not switching yet, though.
It's going to be a very difficult defensive assignment for a short-handed Wake Forest side. This is a Louisville team that will play up to 10 players. Olivia Cochran, one of those, is her first shot off the mark.
Yeah, Jebbia said she's only going to probably go 7, 8 and a half, maybe deep in her rotation because of injury.
Roberts, pull up from the elbow. Fouled on the shot. She'll head to the line for 2.
Well, good patience there, and that was the second possession on that initial possession for Louisville because they got to the offensive glass, and that's something Wake Forest is going to have to shorten up, right? They're going to have to get on the glass and just allow 1 or none on the shots.
Taj Roberts, the freshman phenom from San Diego. Keep an eye on her, number 22 in red. She's at the foul line now. She is the leading scorer on this team, just over 12 points per game, but she has been just under 17 over the last 3.
Well, she was magnificent, had a career-high 23 against Memphis, so she can get hot offensively and has a pure stroke.
For Wake Forest, Reagan Conley, 11 in white. She's coming off of the best performance of her career, 17 points in the loss at UVA, poured in 4 3-pointers as an early foul called on Williams.
Yeah, Williams was in the pocket right there, and what you have to do is get beyond where the ball handler is going. Right alongside of them physically. You got to beat them to the spot and turn them. It was a 2-2-1 press there by Louisville. You're going to see a lot of different defensive schemes from Jeff Walls and his squad.
That's part of the savantness, right?
Absolutely.
Underneath, Wake gets the bucket.
A nice entry pass, and that is what Wake Forest does well. They go inside out offensively. Coach Jebbia was talking about how they had to have more paint points in this game than Louisville.
Williams pure from the foul line. The transfer from Miami. She's been a big piece of this Cardinals team early on.
Yeah, she had a career-high 9 assists against UCLA earlier this season. So you saw that jumper, right? 10 toes down in the paint and rising up in the slot in the mid-range. But she can also set her teammates up as well.
Jones kick out. Turcoff, good defense by the Cards.
Turcoff was about to set that one straight from 3, but passed it.
3 on the shot clock, lets it fly. It's off the mark out of the hand of Conley. Good offensive board, and then an offensive foul.
Good defensive establishment by Cochran. The last 2 buckets here. Here's Wake Forest, that high-low pass from that elbow extended area. Nicely executed, and then the other end, rising and firing. Williams drops that one home.
That last foul issued on Coles. That's her first. We welcome you into Louisville at Wake Forest early on inside Lawrence Scholl Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Dorian Kraft alongside Christy Winter-Scott. Another offensive foul called on Wake Forest. Cards out to the early 2-point lead. That's Hines whistled for her first.
Well, that's what Louisville does to you, right? They disrupt you. They speed you up into making quick decisions. And it's not physical speed. It's mental decisions that they are forcing you to make quicker than you would like.
As a player, how do you correct mental decisions?
You have to stay composed, and it's easier said than done, obviously. It's nothing really that you can speak. You have to have reps with that, and with a young team, short rotation like Wake Forest, that makes it tough. That's why they have 2 offensive fouls so far.
Williams shuffled the feet, so it will go back over to Wake Forest.
For as much as Louisville turns teams over, right, they're second in the ACC with points off turnovers as well as steals. they turn the ball over too, and Jeff Walls said as much. He was like, yeah, we do a good job defensively, but we give it right back sometimes, and that's frustrating when you're trying to get an edge on teams.
Louisville turns it over just over 17 times per game as Jones shakes loose on the interior, but it's the type of turnovers that frustrate both of these coaches because it's live ball.
Live ball turnovers are different, okay? You don't want to have a copious amount of any turnovers, but definitely not in live ball situations where it turns into easy offense on the other end.
Foul underneath. I see you brought the thesaurus today. We've got copious, we had savant. I wasn't aware that I was going to be in an English class as well.
Hey, my mom has a PhD in education. Hey, Mom, Dr. Mom.
My mom has a master's, so she's probably going to be disappointed in me. That was the second foul on Demira Hines, the redshirt senior from Douglasville, Georgia. She'll have to head to the bench. And Elise Williams, who has not played due to injury, entering much earlier than Coach Gebbia wanted.
Yeah, Coach Gebbia said, hey, if we do get in foul trouble, we may have to go to her. There's no minutes restriction on her per se, but 10 minutes is what she told us would be the window. Yeah, that would be a lot for her. But she hasn't played in almost a month. So it takes a lot to get back into rhythm and have a good cadence with your teammates.
Good defense by Wake. Kick to the wing for three was too strong from Curry. Louisville, another offensive rebound. Curry in the lane, avoided the defense, couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, she shot that one on the way down. Curry coming off of a 21-point performance against Miami, hit her career-high 4 triples. She can get downhill, though.
2-on-1, the break. Williams, short. Curry, kick to Cochran.
Nice composure here by Louisville to reset, get recalibrated, and get the shot that you want.
Cochran, under 10 on the shot clock. She's fouled on the way up.
Let's take a look at this last play and see if there was a block down inside. Is there a little deflection? I think so. I think there was a little bit of a block right there defensively by Wake Forest trying to shore up the paint. And the paint is where Wake Forest wants to attack offensively.
Well, Wake Forest already in some trouble. Both of their bigs have already picked up 2 fouls. That's Hines and Coles. And that was something that Coach Gebbia also spoke to us about. She said, we cannot afford to get into foul trouble. This is a team that has been hampered by injuries. They don't have the bodies available on the bench.
No, and a couple weeks ago, they came out of the holiday break. They had a bye, so they had 12 days off, and she said, hey, we only had 6 players who could practice.
She sounded excited that they had
tough.
6.
I mean, you can do 3v3 for only so long. You got to get into your tactical stuff. The 5v5, you couldn't even go 5v5. So she said they only have about 7, 8, maybe 8.5 players deep in their rotation. So 2 players down with 2 fouls right now is not helping that cause.
Wake goes inside to Madison Jordan. 10 on the shot clock. Another good defensive stand by the Cards.
And taking away those weak side cuts is big.
Deep 3, and Jones buries it.
Jones took her time right there. She's only a 25% shooter from range, but that shot clock, it became a hand grenade in her hands. She had to let it go. The pin was out. She had to let it fly. And knocked it home.
And it gives Wake their first lead of the game. Louisville, no field goals in 3 minutes.
Well, now a zone here by Wake Forest because of that foul trouble we were discussing.
3-second call, another turnover. How impressed are you with the way the Wake has responded early on?
Well, you have to make adjustments. And right here, Jones had to make an adjustment because that shot clock was down to about 3 seconds when she let that triple fly from range. But you have to be smart, right? And when you have a short rotation, that's when your discipline kicks in to 1,000. Like, you really have to double down on your principles on the defensive end.
Wake Forest wants to make this a slower paced game. They're second in the conference. They only allow 55 points per game. They want it to be a grinded out affair. Aurora Sorby, the freshman from Norway, in as Jones will take another triple, in and out. More of the rebound.
They really want to get downhill and see Jones just trying to turn the corner there and find some resistance.
No room to work, called for the double dribble. So a turnover back over to the Cards.
Louisville needs to do a good job of taking the paint away from Wake Forest, and that's what Coach Gebbia was telling us today at shoot-around. We want to play inside out. We want to attack the paint, get to the cup, and create contact.
No flopping, no flopping.
A flop warning has been issued against Louisville.
Here's some 2-2-1. full court pressure here by Wake Forest, and they took the middle away.
Jones in front, one-on-one, tough take. Gets it right back, knocked away again. Louisville's 0 of their last 5. It's Wake with a 1-point lead. Welcome back. Wake Forest leading Louisville in the first quarter 7-6, but the Demon Deacons already with their 2 posts on the bench with 2 fouls, and they felt like they potentially had an inside advantage. This team loves to go inside to the paint.
Yeah, I mean, look at the points. I mean, we're talking about the points, but the boards is what I have circled with the big red pin. I mean, that's almost 15 rebounds that you're missing, and that is possession control. And that's what Wake Forest needs against this fast-paced Louisville team that wants to get it and go.
And Wake Forest is the worst statistical rebounding team in the conference, so those are rebounds that they cannot afford to leave on the glass.
No, especially right there with their bigs, so you have to be aggressive to get those touches in there.
Jordan was off the mark. It's Cochran that pulls down the rebound. She has really expanded her game. It's not just an interior presence. Curry, wide open, drained it.
Curry is just so tough. You got to know where she is, and you can't go underneath screens. You can't give her space and time because she will make you pay every single opportunity she has to let that triple fly.
It's been a good start for Wake Forest. 3 of 6 from the floor. The Demon Deacons shooting 50% to start. Jones through the lane. Runner's no good, but she does get fouled.
Well, that's the attack, especially with 2 posts, with 2 fouls. We were just discussing that factor. But now you have your guards getting downhill, getting a piece of the paint and a piece of the hip.
Jones will go to the line for 2. That foul was on Harris, her first. Our next ACC Network Women's Basketball Quadruple Header is next Sunday, featuring 3 top 20 teams. Number 14 Duke takes on Virginia at noon Eastern, then 17th ranked North Carolina hosts Boston College, followed by number 13 Georgia Tech and Louisville, and we cap the day off with Miami and Syracuse. Pull up from Roberts, got the bounce. How about Duke, though, running away over Pitt at home today?
Yeah, I mean, even with some injured young players, Carol Lawson has her team playing the right way right now.
Lots of depth, lots of exciting players across the landscape of the ACC. Inside, crawled over the rim. That's Williams.
Williams right there, just taking it right to the cup. See how long she can stay out here. Again, Debbie has said about 10 minutes would be the window, but she's already played almost half of that right now.
Cochran, 18-footer, couldn't get the drop.
Well, Cochran's been 50% or better from the floor in the first 14 games.
Williams, step back, around and out.
She just looked over at the bench. She needs to have a sub come in and get her.
Great defense from Jordan. Wake takes it away.
She's not even getting back. She is gassed.
In and out. Jones will head back to the line as Elise Williams, that last trip down the floor, gassed. She's been dealing with that ankle-foot issue over the last month, and so she will head to the bench for a well-deserved rest.
Yeah, I mean, she's giving all she has, right? And sometimes it's 60% of the 100%, you know, but you're going to give 100% of that 60, and that's what she did, and she just couldn't make it down the floor that last time. She looked like me playing pickup a couple months ago. I was,
us, that's why I told you that court gets bigger the older that you get.
I was doing the stanky leg and all kind of things, man. Lungs are burning.
Jones comes up short on the first, just a 69% free throw shooter on the season coming into today. This is a Wake team that shoots it just about 60%, or 67% rather, on the year as well.
She's 69% from the line, and Cash is in on that second one. But if Wake Forest can get possessions from the free throw line, as well as from the glass, they'll be better served.
Still a 1-point game. Travel again. Louisville turns it right back over.
Jeff Wall's not pleased with that possession, clearly. Another empty one because of turnovers. But Wake Forest, give them credit. They're taking away the gaps. They're playing discipline in the gap defense and taking away those lane lines so they can't have an attack point and get downhill.
Wake Forest changing the way they started the game. They struggled against UVA. They let the Cavs get out to a 10-1 lead. That was something Coach Debbie had told us could not happen today.
And especially in that second half, just lost control of the pace that they wanted to play the game with.
Three-pointer splash for Conley.
And Conley right there with a moon ball triple that snaps the nets here at home. Got the crowd going.
Only 10th three-pointer on the season for those games, so she's been picking up the pace from the arc as of late. Harris. Good job by Jones to jump the passing lane.
And that fold over that kick-out pass.
Sorby to the corner for three, no good. Curry.
Let's see what they get organized down here in the quarter court against this 2-3 zone.
Harris goes baseline up and under. What a move.
Yeah, that one just Plinko rolled in off the rim on the weak side. No one was there to meet her, to disrupt it or contest there.
I don't think they went top to bottom.
Well, it was top of the rim to the bottom of the net.
Sure, we can do that. An arm bar going to be whistled against Curry.
Wake Forest has found success on the interior, but don't sleep on their ability to get some threes to fall from range. And then Louisville right there attacking that baseline. You got to close the door and put your foot on the baseline defensively to disallow that kind of attack.
That foul on Curry was her first, team fourth in the quarter. It will remain with Wake Forest. 2-point lead coming up on 90 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
Wake Forest likes that dribble handoff, and Louisville switching it.
Trying to go inside, taken away by the Cardinals. Curry ahead to Russell. Nice ball movement, deep three-pointers off the mark. Good job by Conley to save it.
Yeah, she was tiptoeing through the tulips right there on that baseline and saved the possession.
Wake Forest still shooting 45%. Inside, Hines had it taken away, but a late whistle. It's going to be on Russell.
The Wake Forest really does a good job out of their double drag action. And what I mean by that, they have two players right there at the elbow extended at the top. And then a player slips it, and that's who was downstairs waiting for that cut. You have great activity. Hines was down there. Now she'll head to the line after she got tagged on the way up.
Wake Forest was so happy to have Demira Hines come back. She missed all of last year due to injury. She hadn't played since March of 2023 prior to this year, but she was a piece they desperately needed on the interior.
Yeah, no question about it. She shoots 52% from the floor and just under 64% from the free throw line, but another player who can give you some glass work.
Goes 1 of 2. Pushes it out to a 3-point Demon Deacons lead.
See, when Wake Forest can score it, you can now try to contain Louisville and try to control some of the pace that Louisville wants to play with.
They bring the double team. Jump ball called. It's going to belong to the home side.
Coach Debbie was getting down on the floor. I thought she was going to try to go get the basketball right there in that scrum with her team, down in the trenches with it.
You have to think she's pleased by the way that her team has come out in the first 10.
Absolutely. She just said, hey, we just have to compete. That's what she told us today after shoot-around. She said, we just have to go out, grind out possessions. We have a short bench. Everyone has to be disciplined. And we need to play inside out. And they've done a good job with that.
The focus for Wake was on the positives that they've done during the first 2 games of conference play. Sorby in the lane, tough shot, no good. She'll get to the line. That's going to be 2 fouls on Jada Curry.
Big time aggressiveness from Wake Forest out of the gates, right? You know, with their post players having some foul issues, their guards have taken it upon themselves to attack the painted area and get themselves to the free throw line.
Aurora Sorby, freshman from Norway. Has a lot of international experience. She brings that extra wrinkle into this Wake Forest side.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, she's played in 13 games. She's a charge taker, and that is something you can't quantify statistically. I mean, you can write it down and say, okay, we have someone on the team who has X amount of charges, but when you know she's going to have that kind of energy and take those hits for the team, you love that.
It's the intangibles. Leah Williams back in with Curry heading to the bench. 9-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Harris, Williams on the deck. Let the defense fly by, couldn't get it to go. Good hustle from Louisville. They get rewarded with the basketball.
Yeah, really good hustle once again. Bodies on the floor, fighting for those 50-50 opportunities for possessions.
The shot clock is off. Taj Roberts returning for this final possession of the first quarter. Curry back on the floor as well. Wake with a 5-point lead, 17-12. Louisville's committed 4 turnovers in the last 4 minutes.
Let's see what they try to manipulate here against this zone. Try to crack the code and get a paint point.
Around the horn. 3 on the clock. Williams for 3. Too much. Curry can't get the catch and shoot off in time. The first 10 minutes belong to Wake Forest. They're up by 5, 17-12.
Freshman, and he's like, nothing.
Yep.
But he said no. There's a lot of teaching that he has to do about the game, and not just the game in general. They know how to play, obviously. He recruited them to come here. They played at high level, high schools and AAU programs, but the collegiate level, everything is faster, stronger, bigger. So there are different nuances that he has to introduce and carve out and dissect for this young team.
Russell bangs home the 3 to start the second quarter for Louisville. They get back within 2.
Russell, he has done a good job of being a threat off the bench, and they need that. Only a 28% shooter from range, though, this season.
10-second call. Louisville coming out with some strong defense as well. And this is a Cardinals team that averages just over 74 points per game on the season. They scored 12 in the first quarter.
Yeah, and they've got to get going. But credit Wake Forest for being disruptive defensively, forcing turnovers and empty possessions. But this Louisville team, they are a staunch defensive group, okay? And the last 3 games, they've held teams to under 59 points. So they can be disruptive themselves, but they can't be a mirror of that and turn the ball right back over to opponents. They've got to take care of the ball and knock it home.
Istanbuloglu's strong move in the post came up short. Talking about the turnovers, Louisville, they've committed 7, only 4-6 to get that offense going. The Cards, they want to create some more chaos.
Yeah, they have to, and that's their wheelhouse. That's when they're at their best.
Sorby's slick crossover gets the J.
That crossover created the necessary space to free herself up for that mid-range pull-up.
4 points now for Sorby as Wake back out to the 4-point lead. Istanbuloglu, same play, couldn't get it to fall. Tie up underneath. It's going to be a jump ball that belongs to Wake.
Jump ball.
This has been a slower-paced game. How long is Wake Forest going to be able to control this type of pace?
Well, you know, with the short bench, I mean, it could become an issue with fatigue in the second half, but right now, they're doing a masterful job at playing the way that they want to play and not having Louisville dictate the way they want to play to them.
What's allowed Wake to do that?
They've gone to their zone, and I think that has shored up the paint attacks for Louisville.
More short on the jumper. Williams trying to push the pace. Kick, wing 3, no good. Tracked down by Sorby.
Yeah, there you go. Wake Forest forcing them to kick it out for spray-out triples that Louisville is not cashing in on, right? So they're taking away the paint touches and the easy offense on the interior and forcing longer, lower percentage shots from the outside.
Right now, Louisville just 1 of 5 from beyond the arc. Wake Forest just 2 of 6. 5 on the shot clock. Sorby had to let it go. May have been partially blocked.
Yeah.
Louisville has it.
And Curry got a piece of that one.
Curry just 2 points in the first quarter, 1 of 4.
Let's see if they can get high post presence here. And it looks like they're back to man-to-man here for Wake Forest.
Curry will pull the trigger on the triple. Got the bounce off the back iron. It will stay with the Cards.
Well, even with Wake Forest going back to their man-to-man, there were no screens being set by Louisville, right? So now you're taking a contested shot from range. You haven't been knocking in the three, so you can't settle for those long shots. You got to attack the cup. You got to get into the paint, collapse that defense, put them in rotation, and get to the rim.
Who would you like to see from Louisville make that attack?
I would like to see Curry do it. I mean, she has shown her wherewithal, her explosive first step. She attacks the hip really well and puts teams in rotation on a constant basis.
Good defense. Istanbuloglu off the back iron. So a couple of empty possessions for Louisville.
I'm not sure that Louisville wants those threes going up. Like, those are back-to-back triple tries that didn't go in. Cannot settle for those.
This is a series that is very heavily favored Louisville. The only win for Wake Forest came inside this building back in 2023 as Jones gets downhill, fell off the front.
But that's what they need, though. Continue to attack. You see what you can get. You just have to pay it off.
Williams on the attack, blocked by Conley.
This defense has been absolutely on a string for Wake Forest. Right there, Conley said, not today, baby. It's Sunday. Everything's closed on Sunday. It's snowing out here. It's closed today.
What have you liked most about this Wake defense to start?
They have maintained their energy. And they have maintained their energy, effort, and focus in terms of what they want to do, right? They have forced Louisville into taking some tough shots, and yet again, another foul and empty possession.
It's going to be an offensive foul on Elif Istanbuloglu, the sophomore out of Istanbul, Turkey. Elise Williams back on the floor for Wake Forest. She was pressed into action due to early foul trouble to both of Wake Forest forwards. Williams whipped to the wing. Conley, another triple.
And the extra pass, it'll swing to that weak side. This one, rip the nets.
Arenas for three. The freshman buries it. Look at the baby. Looks familiar.
Ah, that looks familiar. The lucky lefty right there, the freshman off the bench, staying ready so she doesn't have to get ready for a triple. You love to see it.
Conley dumped it off to Jordan underneath, who's fouled on the way up.
Arenas, if you recognize that last name, we'll get to that in a moment, but right here, a little swing triple to the left and down through the nets. And speaking of left, the lefty, Arenas drains it, the corner pocket triple. And her dad, Gilbert Arenas, three-time All-Star in the NBA, worked with him years ago. And this is really fun to see her out here performing as a freshman, Division I level.
Isela Arenas, part of this star-studded freshman class. The freshman out of Porter Ranch, California, played at Sierra Canyon alongside teammate McKinley Randolph. Yes, that last name may sound familiar as well. The daughter of Zach Randolph, NBA All-Star.
Yeah, girl dads are in full effect, and McKinley played with the late, great Kobe Bryant's team, and his teammates with the late rising star Gigi Bryant as well. So it's just really good to see them out here still hooping and following their hoop dreams for sure.
Doing big things. Wake, though, doing big things against this Louisville team. They've got the lead as Moore stop and pop.
Got cut right into that empty area right there at the elbow. And found a free and easy deuce.
Largest lead of the game for the Demon Deacons, 7 points. Cochran working hard underneath. Quadruple teamed. Arenas is open, back-to-back threes for the baby.
That one, I think she shot that one like her mom, Laura, okay? Because her mom hooped too. Let's not sleep on the hoopers.
Right. Give credit where credit's due.
Let's go, mommy.
Louisville back within 4 after the tray from Arenas. Williams inside, good idea, couldn't be executed.
Arenas has come in with a hot hand. Same spot, same shot, same result. It has been a three-point barrage by one of the young star freshmen by Louisville. Lefty, corner pocket, triple, snuggles home.
Welcome back. Wake Forest holding on to a 4-point lead over Louisville, but the Cards getting back thanks to a pair of triples from Isela Arenas. And it's not just the freshmen that have the parental pedigree. There are 4 different players on this Cardinals team who have parents who played professional basketball or football.
Yeah, and it's amazing. And we had a chance to speak with Jeff Walz about that dynamic and coaching so many players with parents who played professionally in different leagues. And he said, you know what, they've been great. It's great to let their children have their own journeys with whatever they want to do with the sport. If they want to go on and play professionally, or if they just want to be stars collegiately, he's here to mold them in that way. So that was very intriguing to listen to him answer that question.
Off-ball whistle. It is Arenas that's going to pick up the foul. That is her second. 13th foul on Louisville in the quarter.
This Louisville team plays aggressively on defense, so you have to use your feet, obviously, and you have to trust your speed when you're trying to get closeouts and deflections.
Moore read the defense perfectly, give and go. Wake Forest continuing to add on to their lead. Jeff Walz is out on the court. He is hot. Wake with a 6-point lead. We will step away as well. Clemson hosts Florida State at Little John to start us off at 2 Eastern. Then North Carolina and NC State square off in Raleigh. And finally, Virginia Tech takes the trip out west to take on Cal. Should be a great afternoon and evening right here on the ACC Network.
All hoops all the time. You love to see it. Getting into the thick of it, the gauntlet of the ACC schedule is upon us.
It never lets up. It is all gas, no brakes. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wake Forest holding on to a 6-point lead. They'll get the basketball back after another Cardinals turnover.
Yeah, just a zig instead of a zag right there. And another empty possession for Louisville.
10 turnovers now committed by Louisville in the first 2 quarters. Wake Forest, 3 of their last 3. They give it right back.
And Wake Forest has 12 points off of those 10 turnovers.
Russell in and out. Randolph underneath. Won't get the and 1, but she will get 2 free throws.
We like to see Randolph just staying with the play and attacking the offensive glass. And nobody else knows exactly where that shot's going off except the shooter. And she was right there in place to attempt to put it back up.
Louisville on the year has been a good offensive rebounding team. They pulled down just over 14 boards per game. McKinley Randolph, as we mentioned, the son, or the daughter rather, of former NBA player Zach Randolph.
You'd love to see it. That's a cut and paste right there. I'm sorry. Like, wow, that's the same count. It's the same face. The 2-time All-Star. Jersey retired by Memphis, and it's just really fun to see that kind of tutelage, right? You never want to force your kids to do what you did, and I don't care if it's basketball or to be a lawyer or anything else. Let them be themselves, and I think that's what Jeff Walz has found the beauty in having all these 9 freshmen on the team.
Taken away by the Cards again. It's Randolph running. Arenas. Through the lane, tough shot. Harris had it taken away by Moore.
The rim protection in this game by Wake Forest has been amazing.
Whistle on the floor. It's going to be on Randolph. That's her first, team 4th of the quarter.
That's an 8-2 advantage in paint points by Wake Forest. And you can tell the intentionality for them to attack that area has been top tier every single time. And it doesn't even matter if it's not necessarily that they're shooting the ball from the paint. They're getting a piece of the paint, whether that's for spray out triples or for scoring inside or getting downhill and creating contact and getting themselves to the line or finishing the deuce.
How does Louisville keep Wake out of the paint?
They've got to move their feet. And they've got to be off the ball and bump cuts there. A lot of them have come from weak side cuts where they've been untouched. You got to get your hand in the passing lane and disallow touches in there. Look how easy that came in there.
Easy come, easy go out of the hand of Kennedy Moore. 6-point Wake lead. Harris running the floor, gets rewarded.
That's what Louisville needs. But on the other side defensively, you've got to do a better job of taking away those face cuts. The cut precipitated that great shot in the paint.
Wake is led by as many as 7 in what has been a nip-and-tuck game. Battle underneath. Tracked down nearly by Cochran. Wake gets it back. Frenetic moments. 5 shot clock never reset. Jones, baseline lost the handle. It belongs to Louisville.
Yeah, quick feet there by Arenas. But look at Wake on offense. It's those weak side cuts just going untouched. All you have to do is turn and shoot it. And I think she was already in her shot motion on the catch. So that makes it even tougher because she's not coming down on 10 toes, right? She's gliding to the paint, catching and popping.
It's already a new career high for the freshman Kennedy Moore. 6 points here through the first 2 quarters. And this is a Wake team, remember, that's coming off of their worst loss of the season. They went on the road, got smacked at UVA. They lost 69-46.
Yeah, they just didn't defend, obviously, well in that game, but didn't shoot particularly well.
Arenas went right around Turcoff for the easy lay-in.
Yeah, she's a lefty. That's got to be able to scout, right? You got to take away her left hand or else she's going to float buckets home just like that one, and got the passing lane and got the other one.
Arenas gets the strip, gets the score. We are tied at 29.
Oh, my. Okay. We're in 0, like her dad, Gilbert, is getting bucket after bucket here in the last couple of possessions for Louisville.
And got Louisville right back in this game at 29 all. Hines knocked away, good hands. Arenas, who else?
Yeah, yet again, creating havoc and increasing the battle of possessions for her team by getting into the passing lanes and getting those live ball turnovers created.
6-0 run for the Cards over the last minute and a half. Good hands, nearly popped it in.
Went in, listen.
That was Jones who was disruptive.
It has been Arenas time. Look at this, turning the corner, attacking the second line of rotation on defense and smooching that one off the window. And right there, plucking it away like a grape off a vine, and an easy bucket on the other side pays it off.
Cards 3 of their last 3. They have the basketball. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Russell underneath. Arenas to Randolph. Shuffled the pivot foot.
And again, right there, Wake Forest disallowing straight line drives to the cup. That's what Coach Debbie was talking about as well. We need to take away that drive from the nail. The nail is right there above the ACC logo at the foul line.
Less than a minute to play here in the second quarter. 29 all between Louisville and Wake Forest. Turcoff. Money.
She had time and space.
Cochran weaving her way through traffic. She'll head to the line.
Wake Forest is now 4 of 9 from 3. But it's because they've been able to attack the paint, trying to take that away. So you got to pick your poison, but you have to play a happy medium there and not give one for the other.
Inside-out basketball to its finest as Cochran heads to the line for 2. Next Saturday night at 8 Eastern after our men's basketball triple header right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. The Nothing But Net crew will break down the day in the ACC with highlights and analysis of every men's game and look ahead at the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. Cochran knocked down the first. Been a quiet first half for her, just 3 points. Make it 4 now with the free throw. Keeps Louisville within 1. There'll be a 6.5 difference between shot clock and game clock on the inbound.
Cochran is Louisville's 5th-year player. A young team. She's been a really amazing leader for the squad. And you see Louisville in a 2-3 zone. trying to take away that paint that Wake Forest has attacked in this first half.
Taken away. Roberts bumped by Jones. She was short. Shot clock is off. Three on the clock. Jones trying to get it off. No call. The first 20 minutes belong to Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons holding a 1-point lead at the break.
Well, I love this game. It has gone back and forth, but you see it's will over skill right now. The will to get the ball inside has been in favor of Wake Forest. And then you see Louisville trying to get back by attacking the paint themselves.
And we will get you to the studio with Taylor Tannenbaum and Ivory Latta. Cold and snowy Sunday afternoon in Winston-Salem, but we have a hotly contested matchup between quarters. They've also done a tremendous defensive job on Jada Curry. She had been averaging just under 17 points per game in her last 3. She's been held to 2 in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's big-time gap discipline, okay, that they are playing on her. She has not had the easy looks, and she has been the mark of consistency the last 3 games, averaging 16 points per contest, coming off of a career-high 4 made threes in the last game against Miami. She has been disrupted, for sure.
Curry also did pick up 2 early fouls in the first quarter. Cochran turnaround, no good. Saved underneath by Harris. It's been a quiet first half for Taj Roberts as well. Harris, 18-footers pure.
Yeah, they needed that one, okay? Out of the halftime locker room, you want to see the basketball fall through the net. Nice patience there. They got to the second and third sides and got the shot that they wanted right there in the pinch post.
Pushes Louisville back in front for the first time since the first quarter. But the third quarter on the season, as Curry picks the pass, has been where the Cards have been able to distance themselves from their opponents.
And she tried to save that one and go for the home run instead of go for the single and save the possession for someone who was closer to her.
Singles will get you in the Hall of Fame. You just got to hit 300 or better.
A lot of them.
Tony Gwynn made a career of it as Hines goes through the defense and in.
Hines getting things activated in the painted area.
Roberts for 3. So 2 early shots going down for the Cards in the third.
Needed it. Okay, Wake Forest still attacking the painted area. It was an 8-2 advantage in paint points in the first half during one segment. And then now we've seen Louisville shore that up 8 apiece at halftime.
Turcoff put it on the deck. Answers with a 2.
She's been so steady. Turcoff comes up with the much-needed momentum-saving buckets, right? You see Louisville coming out, knocking in a couple, but she just quietly gets the job done.
Good ball movement. Harris, again, that one left short. But that's what this Louisville offense does. They like to extend early as Hines was wide open underneath. Turcoff for 3 back-to-back buckets for her. And right now, Wake doing what Louisville wants to do. Inside out, knock down the perimeter.
Yeah, that's the great pass was made to the interior. So now everyone sinks in emergency mode. And now you have 2 on the ball in the paint, nobody on the outside. Great opportunity to spray it out for a triple try.
8 points now for Turcoff. Wake Forest back with the lead. Make it we are tied as Roberts knocks down another 3-pointer. 10 points now for her.
Roberts has been lightning in a bottle here in the second half. Arenas had 10 points there, and she was lightning in a bottle there in the second quarter for Louisville. Turcoff right here, the recipient of a nice spray out pass. And she drains that 3. Then Louisville with the swing to the left. And drop down into the net on that side from range. And we'll see, it's gonna be a defensive battle from here on out. I'm just gonna mark that and say. I mean, we've seen Wake Forest do what they've wanted to do on the defensive end. They've turned Louisville over. They've produced high quality points off of those. And now you want to see if Louisville can get back to doing that themselves.
Hines for Conley. No good. Curry in front. If this does turn into a defensive battle, who does that favor?
I think it favors Louisville. I mean, they have more depth, and I think that would be a key factor in that.
Taken away by Jones, coming up with the defense.
That was just not a wise pass. You got to bounce pass it in.
Oh, strong move underneath. Laid in by Coles.
Great angle on that pass, but it was the seal.
Williams broke loose, got it to Harris, who crawled it over the rim. 8 points now for Nyla Harris.
Williams committed the defense to the basketball, and that's how she was allowed to drop it off for that easy bucket in the paint. And Louisville needs to attack more in the paint. We saw them settling a little bit for threes, especially in that second quarter.
Pace is picked up coming out of the half. Hines right around Harris, in and out. Roberts running the floor. Louisville back in front.
And that's exactly what Louisville does well. It's an 11-2 advantage in fast break points. Push-ahead passes are tough to guard. You can dribble it all you want to up the floor, but the ball has more force and velocity to it, and you can push ahead and get an easy bucket in transition.
Timeout taken by Meg Jabia as Louisville's back on top by 2.
Back on top because they've been able to shore up Wake Forest, but it's pace of play. That's what Louisville wants to do. Get some high-powered, easy buckets in transition.
Of the 12 points for Louisville coming out of the break, what is the defensive adjustment that Wake Forest needs to make?
Well, number one, they need to get back in transition, right? And shore up and wall up on the interior.
They got a wall up on Elise Williams as well. She knocks down the corner three, back and forth. Wake, 44-43.
Yeah, Elise Williams can only play in spurts. She's missed nearly a month with that foot and ankle injury, just trying to get herself back on track, but she's giving it all in this game for sure.
Catch and shoot 3. Roberts came up in the corner.
And it takes some time, and you have to give yourself grace when you're trying to ease back, and you want it to look the same and feel the same, but it's just not. But she's really forcing the defense to honor what she's bringing to the court.
Williams' last game was December 8th at St. John's. Thought we would only be able to see her for 10 minutes today. She's been giving Wake valuable time, and the Demon Deacons up on Louisville by 1. Our next ACC Network Women's Basketball quadruple header is next Sunday, featuring 3 top 20 teams. Number 14 Duke takes on Virginia at noon Eastern. Then 17th ranked North Carolina hosts Boston College, followed by number 13 Georgia Tech and Louisville. And we cap the day with Miami and Syracuse. I gotta say, looking forward to Georgia Tech, Louisville, the 2 freshmen, Danny Carnegie and Taj Roberts. That is going to be can't-miss TV.
How about that? And Carnegie, how many freshmen of the week?
3 consecutive ACC Freshmen of the Week. Battle underneath the tie-up.
She's hooping.
Wake Forest basketball. Georgia Tech following the same MO as NC State last year in terms of ripping off wins. Of course, that Wolfpack team went to the Final Four.
Yeah, Nell Fortner and her crew. I had them earlier this season, and look out, that's a team nobody's talking about enough. Georgia Tech means business.
Sorby stepped on the sideline, going back over to the Cards. 15th turnover committed by the Demon Deacons.
Back and forth affair. This game has had everything that you've wanted to see. More zone here by Wake Forest.
Good find. Williams kicks it back out to Russell for 3. Whistle underneath.
You have to drive a zone. You have to collapse the defense, put them in rotation, and get them scrambling. And then attack those closeouts. That's what you do. They scramble out to recover really hard. And that's when you rip and go and get to the cup.
Wake Forest led by as many as 7 in the second quarter. It was 25-18. Neither team really able to distance themselves. Good defense from Wake. Just able to get it in. 8 ties, 9 lead changes, another turnover committed by the Cards, 15 apiece now.
Yeah, that was a tough one because Cochran had the empty side of the zone to attack and just got sped up there and put that foot down before the basketball hit the deck and was whistled for the infraction.
Tough sledding for Cochran and Curry today, Cochran just 4 points. 0 of 5 from the floor. Curry still sitting on 2. She's made just a single field goal.
Yeah, Cochran's averaging 11 and 7. 11.7 boards, and she's just slow getting her rhythm on the offensive end.
Lots of traffic underneath, a whistle, as that was Coles taking it to the rim.
Both teams sitting with 12 paint points at this juncture. But again, we were discussing it earlier, how Louisville's averaging about 74 points per game, and they just have not been able to manufacture them consistently, right? Can you get 3 or 4 consistent offensive possessions where you can score and then get 3 or 4 consistent defensive stops, and then that's how you gain momentum. That's how you get the lead and keep the lead.
We've seen Louisville take some ill-advised shots. Has it been more the Cardinals' shot choice, or has been Wake Forest defense been that good?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, you know, you have to put pressure on the offense. You know, I mean, with your offense. Put pressure on the defense with your offense.
2 more for Roberts, 14 now. She has gotten Louisville back within 1.
Yeah, push the ball up the floor and get to that second line and make them pay. That was a great shot choice there. But you can't settle. That's what Wake Forest has not been doing. They've been taking the shots that they want to take.
I think Roberts heard us talking about Danny Carnegie. She said, what about me? I'm a 2-time Rookie of the Week.
Let's go.
It's been game on here in the third quarter. Wake led by 1 coming out of the break. Williams pull up from the elbow. Money.
It's an easy money bucket right there at the elbow. Williams just lulled you to sleep. 1-2 dribble pull up. Knocked it home.
Wake Forest happy to have Williams on the floor in any capacity. She's a 1,000-point scorer. Cochran working underneath. Foul.
I thought Cochran was free and easy on that left side, but made it even more difficult for herself, albeit she got tagged over there on the shot. I thought she had it on the left side. Maybe ran out of space there. Well, look at Williams right here, but Wake Forest doing a great job getting a piece of the paint first, and then the kick out. Collapsing the defense, created that space for Williams to get that shot off and in.
Wake Forest has been assisting much better over the last 10 games. They've been assisting at a 65% rate. And when you can move the basketball like that, good things happen.
No doubt. 12 assists right now and 17 made shots for Wake Forest. So they're making the proper decisions. And that's why they've been able to play with efficiency and effectiveness.
Cochran drops in the pair, keeps it a 1-point game.
And to that point, Wake Forest is shooting the ball at a 57% clip from 2 and 50% from 3. So their ability right now to not only knock in shots, but to really create havoc for Louisville's defense, which is saying a lot, because this Louisville team comes in with some tough, dogged defense.
Pulling up that dogged defense right there. Nearly got the turnover. A bit of a wry smile from Jeff Walls. Mentioning the 3-point shooting of Wake Forest, 50% on the day. They came into the contest below 30%. Another turnover. Out to Roberts. Gives it right back.
Well, to the dismay of the Louisville bench, you see Amanda Butler over on the Louisville bench, 16 years. She has served as a head coach at both Florida and Clemson, and now has taken a seat on the bench with Jeff Walls and his crew. And that must be a different dynamic, right? I've gone from being an assistant coach to a head coach, but I don't know if I could go back to being an assistant coach. It's like a butterfly going back to being a caterpillar. I don't know, but a lot of people can do it.
Megan Duffy at Virginia Tech, one of those coaches. Etoro Coleman, the former Clemson head coach, on her staff for the Hokies.
And Jen Hoover also was head coach here at Wake Forest.
Good defense by the Cards. It's knocked away, but it will stay with the Deeks. 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Wake Forest shooting 60% in the quarter. So is Louisville. Turkoff, dead away center, bullseye.
Oh, you got to see that. When you have a line at the foul line, you know somebody's going to creep back and take that triple. Ooh, nicely executed out of bounds under by Wake Forest.
3-pointers continuing to fall. Turkoff up to 11. Roberts, in and out. Off the foot of Cochran, it will go back over to the home team.
Yeah, whenever you see that line, if I'm standing next to you, I'm shoving you through to blow that up. Hey, get through there and get that. Don't let her take a wide open shot. Oh my, oh my.
You can see that develop from where we were sitting, and Turcoff, the eyes got big.
Absolutely.
She said, this is easy money, baby.
Yeah, she got it. And you could push me through if I was the one that was, not aware.
I will keep that in mind for our next pickup
That's
game.
right. Good for 2 minutes, and then I gotta come out. But yeah, that was a nice execution, but that's what Wake Forest has been doing all game, right? Picking their spots and executing well.
Wake Forest has been executing their game plan to a T. It's earned them a 4-point lead here in the third quarter. Hines calling for it underneath. Whistle on the floor. It's going to go against Istanbuloglu, and I know you saw it, Christy, because you were grabbing me.
I was. Listen, when you have a post-up position right there, do you know how hard that is to stay in a stance and keep somebody on your back and your neck? Listen, you got to send that bounce
I feel like there may be a slight personal aspect to this. You're like, I understand. Turcoff, she is on fire.
Oh, my goodness. Fireballs from 3. And consecutive possessions by Turcoff.
6-0 run for Wake. Ties their largest lead of the game. Russell in the corner with an answer.
Needed it. We haven't seen consecutive buckets, right, by Louisville. You got to stack stops and stack buckets.
Turcoff around and out. Contact underneath on the rebound. They are going to get Istanbuloglu for her third. She was arguing her case to the referees, but to no avail.
They're not going to change it. You just need to ask for clarification so you don't do it again, and maybe that's what the conversation is about. But
there was a lot of contact underneath between Istanbuloglu and Hines.
yes. But you have to stay loose as a defender. That's what Hines wants. She wants all that contact so she can stay sealed to your body.
Timeout called by Wake Forest as Turcoff was in trouble. It'll be a 30-second timeout, less than a minute to play in the third quarter. Wake Forest holding on to a 4-point lead.
Yeah, I think it's really been a masterful effort by this short-handed Wake Forest team. They've been able to grind it out defensively. They've been able to sustain the energy. But Turcoff has been phenomenal. She has knocked in threes and changed the momentum for this Wake Forest squad, and they know it. We're going to set this wall screen for you. Nobody's there to blow it up. Pull it. Let it fly. Knock it home. Triple tries. Triple good for Turcoff.
4 3-pointers for Riley Turcoff in the contest. She has exponentially improved her offensive game from her freshman to her sophomore season, now just under 10 points per game. She was only 3.5 a year ago.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, right? You want to see that evolution. And it's not just her point production and statistically seeing her numbers go up. It's the confidence. I mean, she's running back, growling and yelling and getting her team motivated, playing with passion and joy, and that's what it's all about. If you don't love it, why are you playing it? If you love it, you gotta play it with some joy and some fun.
Foul on Louisville. Wake loving the way this game has turned out for them. Istanbuloglu, her 4th.
It's a big foul out here. Not in the paint this time.
And it is the team's 5th foul in the quarter, so it will send Williams to the line for 2, where she is a tremendous free throw shooter, one of the best in Wake history, sitting at better than 83% on the season. Walls and Istanbuloglu having a conversation over on the sideline, a teaching moment.
Yeah. You gotta stay loose, right? You gotta do the 2-step in the paint as a post defender.
ACC PM with Mark Packer and Taylor Tannenbaum. Weekdays at 4 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Williams gets the pair. On the the all-time list for free throw percentage as she heads to the bench. Another well-deserved rest. You have to imagine Wake will need her in the fourth.
No doubt. That's a smart substitution for Wake Forest.
Smart pass from Roberts, but Harris was found by Turcoff.
Turcoff just a little late on that rotation. Just a beat late caused her to foul right there on the attempt to block that shot.
Third foul on the sophomore from New Jersey. It will send Harris to the line for 2.
Harris has brought great energy to the floor for Louisville. Has 8 points right now, 4 of 6 shooting with 4 boards.
Makes the first as Louisville now 18 of their last 18 going back to their win over Miami. They were 7 of 7, 11 for 11 after that last free throw. We talk about making the most of your opportunities at the charity stripe. That's how you do it. And Louisville needing those points in this game.
You gotta have them, right? You get those opportunities. Those are possessions. And now you see Louisville trapping on that first pass, rotating out of it.
Good find from Turcoff. Better ball movement. Fell off of the rim. Moore can't believe it.
Oh my God, they just dissected the press and handled the pressure in a spectacular fashion, but couldn't pay it off on the weak side, and that's where you want to finish against a press.
Shot clock is off here in the third.
And snake cut action by Louisville.
Harris right past the defense for the lay-in.
X factor. I'm gonna go ahead and hang that on Harris.
Sorby doesn't get it off in time. Wake Forest still in front by 2. 10 minutes left to go. This one's coming down to the wire. Welcome back to Winston-Salem. Wake Forest on top of Louisville by 2 as we head to the final 10 minutes. This has been a tightly contested affair from the beginning. Wake has won 2 of the 3 quarters, but they've only won 1 game in program history against the Cardinals. Now, that came back the last time they met inside this building back in January of 2023. It was a 68-57 win. Elise Williams, 11 points, and that Jewel Spear was the leading scorer. That second half run, Wake trying to replicate that again this afternoon.
Yeah, and they need to do it by getting their points off turnovers, right? Both teams have 16 turnovers. Louisville's still sitting at 8 points off turnovers. That's what they had at halftime. It's been a 9-0 battle won by Wake Forest. And points off turnovers here in the second half. 24 points off turnovers so far for Wake, just 8 for Louisville.
What's allowed Wake to get those 24 points is Williams comes up short on the J.
Well, they've been on a string defensively, right where they need to be on closeouts.
Cochran, count it, plus the foul.
And that's what they need from Cochran. She needs to be a bully down there and play some bully ball, get down in the mud, and finish in traffic with contact. Cochran catches it, sizes the defense, keeps contact, and takes the hit. And that's what they need from her. They need that power game. Smooch off the glass for 2.
That foul on Hines, just her 3rd after she picked up the 2 quick ones in the first quarter. Louisville stays perfect from the foul line. They're back in front by 1.
Maybe we'll see them go to Cochran more, right? Put the ball downstairs, get the high percentage shots, and then try to turn Wake Forest over and maximize that. Those 2 things could combust for success.
They get the turnover there. Do you go back to Williams or Cochran rather if you're Louisville?
Absolutely. And if I'm Cochran, I'm saying, bring me the ball. Bring it to me. They shouldn't have to take it to her or bait it in. She should have her hand up right now, come find me, and hunt a touch. Here she comes off that screen on the weak side. There she is.
And it's Roberts weaving through the paint. One-handed was no good. Roberts posted a big 3rd quarter. Contact underneath. It's a foul on Wake Forest. It's going to be on Coles. That's her 3rd.
Yeah, Coles just couldn't put the brakes on in transition right there. You're running like the wind, and then somebody is standing right in front of you. You don't have any choice but to run them over.
Reminds me of that Eduardo Najaramatin Cleves
Oh, yeah.
collision
Very
back
nice.
in 2000. I'm just showing my age there.
No, that's tough. I love it. Mateen, shout out.
Louisville turns it back over. Wake Forest has been able to turn the cards over 17 times on the afternoon. And another whistle. This one will go against Louisville. It looks like it's on number 13, Marissa Russell.
Yeah, Russell just disallowing the cut there. You can beat a player to the spot, but you can't impede the progress of the cut. And that's why that was whistled and infraction down in there.
Russell's second foul on Louisville. May have drugged the pivot foot and then threw it in the stands.
Well, that was a little Shackton moment right there with that pass. And it's because she lost balance and control initially, right? And she knew it. Just threw it erroneously over the front row. Middle schoolers over there.
Third turnover committed by Wake Forest in the quarter. At what point for Wake does knowing how to close out games come into play?
Right now, it's paramount, right? It has to be at the top of the list of things to do well, especially here at home. You want to win your home games in conference.
Harris shuffled the feet. So both teams with a case of the turnovers here in the fourth.
Yeah, Howells was right there, walling up defensively, disallowing the space, and that's what you want. As a post player, you want space. You want to win the foot fight. You want to get in front and keep that position. She did a good job walling up and taking that all away.
Louisville is led by no more than 2. It was 10-8 the last time they were up by that many. Wake Forest is led by as many as 7. Coles, nowhere to go. Good defense.
Somebody's got to move.
Fourth turnover. And right now, Wake Forest, they haven't even gotten a shot off in the fourth.
No, and that's disappointing, right? Because they're in a great rhythm on the offensive end when they do get a shot off, right? They're getting to the offensive boards well in this game with 14. It's a 14-10 advantage on the O boards by Wake Forest.
Demon Deacon shooting 56% for the game. Louisville 40%.
That's a major percentage when we're talking about shots coming off. They're getting a major percentage of the offensive boards.
Louisville into Cochran. She's fouled.
Every time. They're sitting straight behind Cochran. Let's see if Wake Forest changes that.
Hines just picked up her 4th foul.
And that could be a conundrum, right? With 7 minutes and 23 seconds to go, she's going to take a seat real quick. But, you know, you can't sit straight behind Cochran. I mean, again, you've got to stay loose and disallow touches as soon as they get that body. Oh, sorry.
No, you're giving me the full experience. I appreciate
That's
it.
a foul on me. That's an offensive foul.
What did you say? You can't impede the progress?
You can't impede the progress, right? But once you get that position, or once you feel them into your body like that, you've got to release and get over and get your hand in the passing. That's going to leave a mark. If you find a bruise on your arm tomorrow, that's because of me.
I'll let you know. Cochran gives Louisville their largest lead of the game, 59-56, another double-digit effort for her.
Well, it's been the empty possessions that Wake Forest has come by in the last several.
What would you like to see from the Deacs offense here?
I want to see them stay composed. I want to see some screens. They've had players left on islands, and that's why they've had the last stretch of turnovers in a row.
It was Turkoff who had the big third quarter, number 14 in white. She knocked down 4 triples. Inside to Coles, what a find!
Now that's a gem of a pass right there. Nice float rainbow pass over the outstretched hands of the defense who couldn't recover in time down there.
Louisville, no field goals in 2.5 minutes. They've done their damage at the free throw line. Roberts, good defense, less than 10 on the clock. Step back, jumper was short, right into the hands of Cochran.
Well, they have a new clock, so they need to force it. They got to get that out. Somebody needed to relocate to the strong side to save Cochran from herself. She didn't have any other options. But look at this pass by Turkoff. A little rainbow. Oh, found the pot of gold right there with a nice deuce in the paint.
It's been a good afternoon for Riley Turcoff. 14 points, 3 assists. Just over 6 minutes to play. Wake Forest looking for their first ACC win. They fell on the road at UVA in their last effort. Tipped away by Russell. It was a good idea by Wake going backdoor cut.
Yeah, more right there. I thought she saw it before she threw it. As soon as you see it, you got to let it go, because that pass was a little bit late because she delayed her decision.
Coles threw it right to Harris.
Coach Jebbia from Wake Forest, she said, we're going to try to use their defense against them and take backdoor cuts like that, but you got to time the passes properly if you're Wake.
Kicked ball, it's going to stay with the Cardinals. Louisville still struggling to find buckets from the floor, nearing 4 minutes. Tipped by Williams and taken away.
She's just giving it her all, and you can see, like, she doesn't really have good rhythm with her step, right? It looks like she's almost favoring her ankle there.
Gritty performance in Elise Williams. Coles slipping free underneath. She's fouled on her way to the rim.
What a dime, though. Put it through the keyhole and got it downhill for another opportunity to finish inside.
Coles will head to the line for 2 with the opportunity to tie or take the lead. Six points for Coles on the afternoon. ACC PM with Mark Packer and Taylor Tannenbaum. Weekdays at 4 Eastern right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Coles misses them both. Remains a 1-point Louisville lead.
Freshman Arenas had that hot hand in the first half, had those 10 points, and stay hot here.
Russell pull-up J is good. Louisville extends the lead back out to 3.
Now you're seeing maybe fatigue playing a factor into Wake Forest. They have short rotation, 7-8 players who can rotate in.
Wide open, Coles was left all alone.
Defensive miscue there, and Jeff Walls with both hands over his head, and that's the nonverbal coach's communication of, oh my goodness, we can't have that happen.
Timeout taken by Louisville. Cards leading Wake by 1. Later stages of the 4th quarter.
Taylor Tannenbaum hanging out here in the studio in Bristol. There's Ioana Cremealy, Bears leading scorer, number 20 Cal on the road at SMU, top of the hour here on ACC Network, guys.
Tight one here in Winston-Salem. Louisville leading by 1. More than halfway through the 4th quarter, Wake Forest has led the majority of the game, but the Cards have come to life in the 3rd and the 4th, and they are currently on top by 1.
16 assists on 21 made shots for Wake Forest. They have played effectively and efficiently, and most importantly, they've turned Louisville over 19 times. They've scored 24 points off of those, and that has been a huge reason why they've been able to maintain a one-possession situation here at home.
Roberts for 3. She continues to pour it on.
And she has been the key cog to success and momentum in the second half for Louisville.
Largest lead of the game for the Cards. Coles underneath. That's a tough bucket.
That was so smart. She didn't put the ball on the floor in traffic, kept contact, and flipped it home. Nicely executed.
8th time in double digits for Coles.
This zone has taken some rhythm away from Louisville during this game, and it's come at different times, right? They haven't stayed in it and allowed Louisville to get comfortable with the reads against it.
Roberts bumped on her way through. going to be Conley picking up the foul.
Well, check out the extra pass, little pump fake, a little birdie flying by. Boop, all net right there for three. And then Coles, look at this. Catch it high, keep it high, chin it, and finish.
So they called the foul on the floor. It'll be Louisville inbounding with a fresh 20.
With the snake cut there, Louisville trying to create.
Harris got lost. Defensive breakdown by the Deeks.
That was a great set by Jeff Walls, out of bounds.
Off the top of the backboard, Coles tracks it. Turkoff, flyby. Offensive, wipe it up.
Proper call. The defense was established right there and took the hit, shoulders square. Look at this. I mean, it was about 3 or 4 different snake cuts and then easy money right there after the chaos on the left side. And then Turkoff, yep, going right into the defender's chest. Established defender, taking one for the team.
It was Harris getting it done on both ends, scored the bucket, stepped up, took the charge. That's the 4th foul on Riley Turkoff. 4-point Louisville lead coming up on 3 to play. Cochran through the defense, too strong.
It's a good idea. And that's who needs to have it, I think, right now, to get a couple buckets in a row on the inside.
If you're Wake, who do you go to here?
I'm going to go back down inside. Oh, she wants it to the side. Give it back. Over to Cal's over there. I thought if you swing it to the left, she had the post up on the baseline side.
They go into Coles, high-low to perfection. You called it.
Yep, give it back to her. She's down there working. Let her get a touch.
It gets Wake back within 2.
That zone again. Screening against the back line of it is Cochran.
Marina skip pass. Good defense by Hines.
Russell needed to take one dribble to her left to create a better angle on that one.
Cochran nearly took it away, but it will stay with Wake Forest. But it has been the Malaya Cole show here in the 4th quarter. She has all 8 of Wake Forest points.
Well, she's been spectacular, and it's been her early positioning down inside that has paid off buckets in the paint for her.
12 points. She heads to the bench with just under 2 minutes to play. So on the floor for Wake Forest is Moore, Hines, Conley, Williams. And inbounding is Jones.
Got to take care of the basketball here under duress. And watch for Louisville maybe to blitz and rotate. They were working on that at practice today. Maybe change some things up and surprise Wake Forest down the stretch.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Wake Forest got what they wanted and threw it away.
And again, you can take one dribble and get your angle together and then drop it off. And that pass was thrown so far ahead. Even if she had caught that, she would have been in a bad way underneath that line of the backboard.
Megan Jevier encouraging her team as we are under 2 to play. Wake still looking for their first conference win and their 2nd ever win against the Cards, but it's Louisville holding on to the 66-64 lead.
Patience and composure right now for Louisville.
Time and score is something that Louisville has been emphasizing as of late. Williams dumps it in. Cochran loses the handle. Throws it out of bounds. Shot clock violation.
Oh my. I mean, I thought they did a good job of dissecting the defense right there, but I think Jeff Walls is saying what I was thinking right there. Take that first shot. Don't try to dump it down in traffic. And again, had she caught that, she would have been under duress underneath the basket with 2 defenders in her space. Take your shot.
Jeff Walls a big advocate of if you have an open shot, take it.
Shoot it. Shoot it before you turn it over, right?
One minute to play. Williams for 3, got it! Wake with the lead. Good ball movement. Harris, 15-footer. It's good. Louisville back in front.
What a sequence. Both teams bringing their A game and getting buckets. Last two big buckets. Williams strikes from three. A little handoff action. Boom. Oh, net for Williams, playing with grit and playing through a little bit of an injury. And then right there, a contested shot. The pinch post right there in the short corner goes for Louisville's Harris.
That last three-pointer from Elise Williams put her 22nd in program history in all-time points. Wake Forest calling a timeout as we are 38 seconds to play. 1-point Louisville lead. Wake Forest, one timeout left. Louisville with the lead. The possession arrow does belong to the Demon Deacons.
I said Harris was that X factor for Louisville, and Williams is turning out to be the X factor for Wake.
Into Hines. Jones in and out of her hands. Williams couldn't save it. It goes back to the Cards.
Ooh, this is a chess match. All right, that was a great after timeout call. Just didn't get connection of the dots on that pass, but boy, had she caught that, she would have been wide open downhill. Look at this, nice dark cut. Oh my goodness, just out of her hands. Too bad.
Something that Megan Jebbia talked to us about. She said the team sometimes moves too fast.
And just take a beat, execute.
2-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
Do you try to foul right here? I think yes. Ooh, they got the timeout first.
Louisville got the timeout.
And if you don't get that initial steal, I would say it's foul. But your initial thing would be to go ahead and try to get a steal. You have possession on the jump ball. That would be B. So option A is steal. Option B is get in and try to get the basketball because it's your possession on the tie-up. And then if you don't do those two, then tag somebody and go for the basketball. Don't push anybody in the back and be smart. Make a play on the ball and see what happens after that.
Louisville is in the bonus. Wake Forest has committed 5 fouls in the quarter. The Cards have fouls to give, just 2 here in the fourth.
If you're Louisville, you got to come and meet these passes. But it looks like Wake Forest is going to lay back as Louisville's lined up here. They're probably going to curl somebody out of that, but now if they don't have pressure up there, they're just going to get it in.
3-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
They playing them straight up. A lot of time ticking right here. Ooh.
There's the foul from Jones. And a lot of time coming off the clock.
Coach Jebbia said no. I don't think she wanted that right there. I don't know if she wanted that from Jones.
Second foul on Jones. It'll be the 6th foul on the quarter. And if you are Wake Forest, this is the player you did not want to foul in, Jada Curry. She is a phenomenal free throw shooter, better than 96% on the season.
Yeah, a phenomenon there, and maybe that's what Coach Jebbia was saying no about. Not her.
Curry makes the first. Curry got the pair. It's a 3-point Louisville lead. Timeout, Wake Forest.
Strategy continues. Just 14 seconds. They've been hitting their threes in this game at a 63. Oh no, I'm sorry. At a 56% clip. They haven't knocked in their free throws very well in this one, but their threes have been going. So will Louisville foul? so they don't get the three-point shot.
You've been a coach, Chrissy. What would you do?
Just don't foul and box out.
If you're Wake Forest, what are you drawing up?
No, wait, I'm rethinking that. I'm rethinking it. I'm going to foul, but
Okay.
I'm going to make sure I'm going for the basketball. I'm going to go for a steal first, same scenario, and then I'm going to foul.
Okay.
Because they're at home. I don't want them taking that three to tie it up.
You go for a win on the road.
They've been banging those threes in. No thanks, I'm fouling. I changed my mind. I'm allowed.
Well, Louisville only has 2 fouls in the quarter, so they have fouls to give.
Do it. 14 seconds. And then now, not only that, you're going to be trimming seconds off the clock. Foul right away. Yeah, it's going to take at least 5 or 6 seconds off the clock to foul all those times to get them into the bonus where they're just going to take 2 shots. You get the ball, make your free throws. It could be night-night.
Jeff Walls talked about time and score. No more important moment to know it than now. It'll be Coles inbounding, 14 seconds left. Shot clock is off. Jones. They're going to call a foul on Russell.
That was a quick foul. I was thinking it was going to take a little time. It only took about a second and a half off the game clock. See right here, though.
And a .9 came off, so still fouls to give. That was just the third on the cards. Turkoff from the logo, got it! We are tied! Roberts, in and out. Extra basketball coming in Winston-Salem. Riley Turkoff bangs home a three-pointer just before regulation to knot it up at 70.
It was the same play they ran earlier, that wall screen right at the foul line. Turkoff knocks off a triple from range. Look, walled off all the defense. Nobody switches out. And she splashes and cashes that one home.
A new career high for Riley Turkoff. Extra time to decide it between Louisville and Wake.
Taylor Tannenbaum in studio, heading to OT in Winston-Salem. Cal SMU has started. You can find that one on ACC Network Extra and the ESPN app.
40 minutes, not enough to decide Louisville and Wake Forest. 70 all as we head into overtime, and a new career high from Riley Turkoff. She hit a 3 from the logo with 13 seconds left to tie it up.
5 of 6 from range for Turkoff, and that one was identical to a read from earlier in this game where there's that wall screen with 3 players across the free throw line, walling off and freeing space and time from range. And she has just been magnificent. And just as a whole, 59% from 3 for Wake Forest. And they've also turned Louisville over 20 times and scored 24 points off of those. Wake Forest has 24 turnovers, but Louisville's only scored 12 points off. So that's the difference.
Wake Forest has shot 61% from the floor. Harris had a big fourth quarter, number 2 in red. Williams leaves it off for Cochran. Got it to go.
Yeah, they just were surgical right there with how they attacked Wake Forest in their zone. And Wake Forest has presented that zone to try to keep Louisville off balance. They're able to get a straight line drive and a dump off to the weak side.
The Demon Deacons last played an overtime game February 5th of 2023. They beat Clemson in and out of the hands of Jones. Louisville lost an overtime contest earlier this year. That was against number 16 Kentucky, 71-61, back on November 16th.
When you're given a second chance, you don't want to waste it. So all of the things that were circled with a red pen at halftime or in between each quarter, fix those things so you can win the game.
Russell, and baseline, and through the bottom of the hoop.
Yeah, you have to dribble to score, not to explore. And I thought that time that was an exploration dribble. Have a purpose when you put the ball on the deck. And after 2 dribbles, if you don't have a decision made, Then you need to pick it up, and your teammates need to move without the basketball and relieve you.
That was a point of emphasis at shoot-around this morning. The retreat dribble, get it right back inside. Turkoff, that was short. Poked back out. Williams will reset. Gutsy game for Elise Williams. 24 minutes, her first game since December 8th as Jones shakes loose to tie it.
The C's parted and she attacked it. Nobody there on the weak side to give her any resistance at the cup.
This was a 1-point Wake lead at the half. The Demon Deacons have led the majority of the game. Russell, Harris, short corner, got the bats. Turnover underneath. Officials whistle. Louisville called timeout. Cards leading by 2 in the extra period, 74-72.
Si buscas un lugar donde desarrollar tu verdadero potencial, ven y sé parte de algo más grande. Alcanza tu próximo nivel. carrerascivilesarmy.com.
You mastered your mind. And all the while,
They're just potent offense from the outside, knocking in 10 threes themselves. But they've limited those threes falling for Louisville on the other side.
Well, Wake Forest has taken a page out of the Cardinals playbook because Louisville had held Boston College and Miami to 9 3-pointers combined in their last 2 conference games. Wake today has hit 10.
Flip the script. That's what we said at halftime, right?
They've done it in points off of turnovers and 3-pointers, but it's Louisville who holds the 2-point lead here in overtime.
You really have to be methodical. You really have to have great composure here with your, not just shot choices, but your passing choices if you're Louisville.
10 on the shot clock. Foul underneath. They're going to get Nyla Harris.
And that's lucky because Cochran needed to bounce past that one in, because had that foul not been called, it was going to sail out of bounds underneath. And that's why I said that is paramount to be able to take care of the basketball right there.
Second foul on Harris. Jones. Good defense by Louisville. Turkoff, backdoor. Whipped out to the corner. Pull up Jay, too strong. Batted out.
Got to put a body on somebody and maintain that contact. Another opportunity.
Hines, contact underneath. A whistle called. Is going to be on Cochran, her third.
Let's take a look at the contact down inside. There's the pass on the interior. That was really close. That was really close.
Cochran was asking for a jump ball, but instead it will be Hines at the line for 2.
Hines looked like she displaced the legal guarding defender in that play. It was a skosh. Too late.
Hines just a 63% free throw shooter. Wake has left points at the line today, now just 10 of 17. Meanwhile, Louisville perfect, 17 of 17. Gets 1 of 2.
Keeping things interesting, to say the least.
Wake Forest trying to avoid starting 0-3 in conference play for the 2nd straight season. Louisville has won 4 of 5 coming into this one. Wake's second half for Taj Roberts. She had 10 points in the 3rd quarter alone. Curry, foul. That is the 5th on Hines. Her day is done.
That could become an issue. And now, what I would do if I'm Louisville, I mean, they're going to shoot here, but their next time down offensively, Cochran is the one that I have my laser beams on. I'm getting her a touch. I'm going to go through her and go to her and see what the defense does.
Wake brought in the freshman Kennedy Moore. Malaya Cole is the other big for Wake Forest, also playing with 4 fouls.
I'm going right downstairs. Get a touch, at least. And it doesn't mean for her to shoot it. But she's drawing a lot of attention when she catches on that lane line.
Tough offensive day for Jada Curry. In and out, 5 points for her. Moore got the board. First missed free throw of the afternoon for the Cardinals. It's a 2-point lead, less than 90 seconds to go. Batted away by Cochran.
Nice loose defense there, showing her 5th-year experience. Not allowing that contact. That's what we were discussing earlier. You feel that contact, you release, and you jump to the ball, and you get a deflection right there in the steal.
11th steal of the afternoon for the Cards. Curry steps into the three. Largest lead of the game. Jada Curry coming up big.
33% shooter from range. None bigger than that one for Spicy Curry in this game here on the road in the ACC.
Not her biggest offensive performance, but coming up big when the Cards needed her.
It's not how many you score, it's when you score, and she is a big shot maker in clutch time.
Inside to Coles, avoids the knee and lays it in. Count it, plus the foul.
This Wake Forest team has shown no fatigue, mentally or physically. Here's Curry right here, off the top of the key, boom. All net from range. Wave bye-bye to that one with a nice snap of the wrist, and then the and one on the other side, down in the paint for Wake Forest. It has just played with tremendous moxie.
Cochran picked up her 4th foul. Coles converts the and one. 2-point game.
Let's see what Louisville comes up with here. Offensively against this zone again. Good patience, but that shot clock is now getting down into it. You got to make a decision on where you want to attack. Where's your point of attack right now?
Good defense from Wake. Curry, 3-pointer. Big money, Curry. That could be the dagger. Timeout taken by Wake.
Jada Curry has been a money maker from range. Little jab step, boom, got that one to go. Big time buckets by big time players. It's clutch. That's exactly what Louisville needed. They needed some cushion against this Wake Forest team that has shown no quit and have continued to answer the bell. Every time Louisville has made big plays, they've come down the other side and done the same.
It was a tough first few quarters for Jada Curry, but she has heated up in a big way here late. 7 points in overtime. She had 4 through the first 4 quarters. And you said it, Christy, big players come up big in the big moments, and now Wake needs a big answer. Turkoff nearly got it to go. Wake needs points.
They got a set up screen here.
Double dribble.
Yeah.
And Turkoff was swarmed, double dribble, a turnover. So with 5 seconds on the clock, it will be Cardinals basketball.
I'm sure Jeff Walls was imploring his team, hey, she can't be the one to hit another 3 in this game. I mean, she has been lights out from range. Turkoff, 5 of 6 at one juncture, 5 of 8 right now from 3 after she dismissed that one.
And a full timeout taken by Jeff Walls. 5 seconds left to play. Louisville with a 5-point lead off a couple of big buckets from Jada Curry.
It's just been a phenomenal game for both teams.
Jeff Walls has built this program from the ground up in his 18th season, and these outcomes are what you expect from a Walls coach team. They may be in trouble, but they're never panicked.
Well, look at the winning percentage. Jeff Walls has done an immaculate job with this program. They've gone to Final Fours. They've been in 2 championship games. Players like Shoni Schimmel and Angel McClatchery, and the history books go on and on. but he is the one who is sitting at the helm during that run.
He told us that Sony Schimmel's freshman and sophomore years were probably the last time that Louisville has been this young, top to bottom on their roster. Now, don't forget, those two teams, they made a Sweet 16, a national championship, and an Elite 8. Didn't say that this team was necessarily that caliber, but implied that the pieces might be there.
Absolutely, and it's all a work of art, right? You understand your team, put them in successful positions.
Right now, Louisville in a position to win. 5 seconds left on the clock. They inbound to Harris. She will dribble it out. It was a gutsy performance from Wake Forest, but Louisville outlasts the Demon Deacons.
Well, it was just a fantastic game, top to bottom by both teams. I mean, I want to shake both coaches' hands. I mean, they really did a fantastic job with their respective ball clubs, with how they competed in this one, and that's what you want to see. It was a fantastically executed game.
Louisville, their 5th win in their last 6 games. They improved to 3-1 in conference play, while Wake Forest falls to 0-3 in the ACC. Jada Curry coming up big in overtime. So for Christy Winter, Scott, and our entire crew here in Winston-Salem, I'm Dorian Kraft saying so long, Louisville, your winner in overtime. We'll get you out to Dallas and Krista Blink and Brooke Weisbrod.